Hey everyone, today we're taking on a brand new challenge. I'm going to buy 1,000 goats just to see exactly how much money I can make from them. I'll calculate all the expenses, and by the end, I'll tell you if it's really worth your time. So, I'm starting out on my old farm on a flat map. I've already got a greenhouse here, a small field, a goat pen, and some basic equipment. But honestly, my bank account is completely empty for this challenge. So, it's time to get to work. First up, I decided to plant some barley for a little extra side income. I also went ahead and sold off all my old machinery. That includes a large plow and a small harvester. I simply don't need them anymore, and the extra cash will definitely come in handy. Next, I filled the greenhouse with water and fed the animals. Then, I tried placing down a large goat pasture. I actually downloaded a really cool mod just for this. The capacity is 150 animals, which is pretty awesome. But looking a bit closer, I realized it doesn't even need water. It automatically buys it for you. Well, that felt a bit like cheating, and I didn't want to make this challenge too easy on myself. So I reloaded the game. Luckily, there was no autosave, so I didn't lose any money. This time, I decided to place the largest base game goat pen. It set me back $97,000. And imagine my surprise when I found out it doesn't require water either. Turns out, I just completely wasted my time. Oh well, we start filling up the feeders anyway. Meanwhile, my field was finally ready to harvest. I spent all my remaining cash just getting the crops in. I really needed to buy a silo for $20,000. But if I did that, I'd have to put the whole goat plan on hold or even sell some off. So, I made the highly professional decision to just dump all the grain on the floor. I'm really hoping it doesn't spoil before I can deal with it later. Then, I sold off all my old goats from the small pen and bought a fresh batch. The base game pen holds exactly 68 animals. I could have bought baby goats and waited a whole in-game year for them to grow up. But honestly, I just bought the adults right away. After that, I sold the old pen and started waiting for the profits to roll in. Once the money arrived, I bought more goats. But suddenly I realized I was completely out of food. So back to mowing and collecting grass. That food supply lasted for quite a few months. Eventually, I hit about $100,000 in profit. I took that money and bought a production facility. My plan was to turn the milk into products and sell them for a premium. Well, at least that's what I thought at first. The idea was to produce bottled milk and goat cheese. Soon enough, the first production money starts rolling in. I decided to use it to buy hay bales. Each one holds 8,000 liters of hay. At this point, buying them is definitely way better than mowing grass manually. I also picked up a small loader that, in theory, should be able to handle them. And I wasn't wrong. It's actually perfect for the job. But there is a slight issue with the game's physics. The bales slowly slide off the forks. You have to drive incredibly carefully, otherwise you'll end up picking them up one by one. Anyway, we got them delivered. By the next month, I checked on the animals. They hadn't even eaten half of the bottom 2 bales. Honestly, that was music to my ears, especially since buying 8 bales costs me over $10,000. So we kept saving up. Finally, I had enough cash to drop down a massive goat pasture. I bought 100 adult animals and delivered the next batch of food. The pasture literally swallowed up my entire supply. Its storage capacity is exactly 10 bales, which is absolutely huge. At this stage, all the milk was going straight into production. I decided to sell the base game pen and buy a second modded one. Over time, my herd grew to 300 animals. But honestly, that's just the very first step toward our goal of 1,000. Now, I really didn't want to suffer with food deliveries later on, so I bought a lowboy trailer to use specifically for transporting bales. I got the bales loaded up, and now it's time to try feeding the animals. I went ahead and bought 2 more large pastures. At this point, we're over halfway to our total capacity, just a little more, and we'll hit that 1,000 mark. I also spent some time building a nicer looking road. It makes driving a lot easier, and it just looks way better. But then, the bale deliveries became a nightmare. I was completely using the wrong vehicle for the job. I was constantly twisting and turning just trying to get the animals fed. I quickly realized I couldn't handle that level of torture, so I checked the store and saw a proper semi-truck. Better yet, it was on sale for only $20,000. So I bought it immediately. I still had to use the small loader for the final unloading steps though. But anyway, the animals are finally fed, and now we just wait for the next wave of profit. By the way, I'm also using these small utility buildings. They automatically collect the milk, store it, and distribute it to production, or straight to a sell point. It's an incredibly handy mod. If I had to move all that milk manually, I'd be wasting so much time. I also decided to add some lighting and decorations just to make the map look a bit more alive. I think it turned out pretty well. After that, I just let time speed by so I'd have enough cash for the final buildings and purchases. Right now, my balance is sitting at a healthy $700,000. Now, it's finally time for the real challenge to begin. I bought a few more pastures and built out a full road network. Everything was set for the final push. I actually sold off all my old goats so I could start fresh with a completely new herd. Now, my only job is to max out the food storage. I needed to place 10 bales into every single pasture. I went ahead and did this off camera since it's pretty boring to watch. But with that out of the way, I bought brand new animals for every single pen. We needed a clean slate to make sure the experiment's numbers were perfectly accurate. Because of how the mod works, each pasture actually holds 153 goats instead of exactly 150. But honestly, those 3 extra goats will probably just cover the daily maintenance costs of the farm. They shouldn't really skew the final numbers. My bank account was draining rapidly, but the farm was completely ready. The plan now is to wait exactly 1 in-game year. That way, the calculations will be completely fair. Also, from now on, I'm only selling the milk directly to a sell point. No more productions or cheese making. My greenhouse is empty too, so it's not generating any money. We're officially starting in July. Let's see how much we make in the first month. Honestly, it was a little underwhelming. I had to double-check my logistics to make sure everything was spawning and working correctly. But after letting it run a bit longer, our average monthly income jumped to over $100,000. Now those are the kind of numbers I like to see. Near the end of the experiment, I had to feed the animals one last time so they wouldn't run empty. And so guys, after exactly 1 year of operation, my account sits at $1,579,000. If we subtract our starting amount, that leaves us with $1,264,000. But wait, that's not all. We get an additional $25 per animal if we sell them. Keep in mind, I originally bought these goats and paid an extra $100 delivery fee for each one. If you transport them manually, your profit from selling the herd would actually be $112,000 instead of just $25,000. But let's be real, manually transporting 1,000 goats is an absolute nightmare. So let's break down the final math. We made $1,289,000 in pure revenue for the year. I spent $139,000 on food. Building all those goat pastures cost me another $420,000. That leaves us with a totally clean net profit of $729,600. Plus, we now have a fully operational farm. In the second year, without those setup costs, our net profit would easily double. So there you have it, guys. Those are the numbers. Honestly, raising goats in this game is pretty fun, and it's surprisingly profitable. But I'm curious, what do you guys think? Please drop a like to support the video and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on the next big challenge.